Drawing down the air for start.
Hey, what is up everyone? It's One of Nine here from One of Nine TV, and welcome back to some World of Tanks. I apologize for my long hiatus of the game. I'm going to try to be as good as possible about uploading at least once a week, at least for the next few months. So don't worry, if you're a fan of the channel, you'll always get to see uploads at least once a week, probably on Saturdays, and if I get other games I'm going to play, I'll upload them more often. Today I am playing on Malinovka in the Tier 9 Chinese light tank, air quotes, the WZ-132A. This tank leads on to the WZ-132-1, which has armor that is equivalent to a lot of 210 medium tanks turrets, which is kind of weird for a light tank. But anyways, so what I'm going to do at the start of this game is I'm going to go over to this really good scouting bush in the middle of the map and try and see how much vision I can light up for my team and see if I can get any shots into any unsuspecting enemy tanks, and right away I spot a convoy. I try to shoot him, and the first shot just goes nowhere near where I expected it to go. And then I pull back just in case it got spotted so I can't get shot. And once I realize I'm not spotted anymore, I push forward, I spot the RU-251, and I look for the convoy again, and I lead him, and he stops just as I fire, which is kind of annoying. After having missed the two shots, I really want the convoy to die, and there's a nice 260 spotting damage into him. I don't know if that shot hit, we'll know in the post-game stats if it does. And I just keep staying in this bush, trying to get as much vision out for the team, and try blind finding the convoy. That just doesn't work, doesn't hit him, so I say, okay, as long as there's no tanks spotted over there, I'm going to see if I can get a crossfire up into the top of the hill. Which, if you know about it, is quite a sneaky way you can shoot tanks that are fighting your friendlies up on top of the hill. And there we go, I finally killed the convoy. It took me a few shots to kill him, and I believe that blind shot may have hit because he was on a lot lower health. I don't know if anybody else blind fired him. But then again, who cares? He's dead. I'm not. So now I continue to look for shots to the top of the hill, and then there's a Batchat 12T, try and get a shot into him. And no, it's just not happening. The Panther 2 does on my team. I keep trying to look around to see if I can sneak any shots to the top of the hill. And right now, there's not too much for me going on. That guy almost pushes forward enough, the AMX M4. And, oh wait, I'm sorry, that's an AMX 5120. Unfortunately, he didn't push forward far enough, so I didn't get to get any shots into him. And right now, this position isn't seeming the greatest. But at the same time, it's kind of an important position on the map, so I should try to hold it for my team. Because if an enemy light tank pushes up to where I am, they can light up everybody, except for our artillery. If you look at the map, they're the only things that won't get lit by a light tank, an enemy light tank in this position. I see the RU-251, he realizes he gets spotted, starts pulling back, but I snap the shot in before I'm fully aimed, and I've managed to put 312 damage into him. So far this game is going pretty solidly. Only 600 damage to start off with and 260 spotting, and I decided, okay, this Batchat 12T is getting so much, it's in such an important position, he needs to die, and he's getting a lot of spotting into our team. So I go in, I probably could have rammed him there, saved myself a little bit of health, but I was hoping he wasn't going to be able to turn the turret around quickly enough to get me before I reloaded. But I got rid of him, and then I spot a TS5 and the RU-251 again. I see if I can sneak a shot into him, but it doesn't look like it is going to be able to happen. Right now this game is going pretty evenly, and I try and sneak a shot into the TS5. Unfortunately, I cannot hit, and then the eyes notice the Object 277 has been spotted in the D line on our side of the map, threatening our artillery and the entire left flank of our team. So I decide I need to go help my team do something about him. After all, the only tanks that are over here are Tier 8s and 9s, and I'm one of the 2 Tier 9s that can actually help our team kill him. Unfortunately, I tried to hide in the dip after I got spotted, but he still had a shot into me, so I pushed forward to definitely get myself into a dip where I can't be shot by him. And then I see there's a T-28 prototype out in the middle of the field. He will be an easy kill. Shoot him, and I track him, and there we go. There's some nice juicy spotting damage coming in. And there we go. There is my third kill of the game. So now I decide, okay, gotta get around and flank the Object 277. So what I do is I put myself into this little dip here, so that way he won't spot me coming around, and this way we can open up a second angle on this guy, so that way his armor can never be pointed at all of the friendly tanks at once. So I rushed down this way. I was hoping I didn't get spotted by the RU-251, and I did not, which is very good, because otherwise the 277 would have known I was there, and I would have been killed so quickly. And now I'm going to run all the way over to this GH area of the map, and here we go. Now I can start getting side shots into the Object 277. Now the only thing I need to have happen is for the 277 to be spotted, so I start pushing forward a little bit more, and there we go, he has been spotted. Try to find an angle. Unfortunately, I have been spotted myself, and that is not good, so I try to run away into the dip behind me, so that way he can't get shots on me. Unfortunately, the enemy artillery was alive to the situation, so I stop here for a second, and that may have almost lost us the game right there, but I moved just in time, and I only managed to get stunned. I immediately repair the stunning damage, because being stunned in this tank is not fun at all, and I just set myself up to see if I get some nice easy side shots, and there you go. There's the first side shot into the Object 277. I hope, and can't get the shot into him, unfortunately, which would have potentially saved one of our artillery. Unfortunately, he's going to get our artillery no matter what. So I reload the premium rounds. Hopefully I'll be able to easily penetrate him. And that first one tracks him, and I get a nice little chunk of tracking damage. I try and shoot him again. Unfortunately, that one hits the rear of the tank and bounces. It doesn't hit him flush in the side like I was hoping it would. Now it's time to see if I can kill him. I put one more shot into him. And then this STA-1, who had a very good game. Without this STA-1, this game would never have been won. He goes in and decides to go just rush in on a tier 10 enemy heavy tank while I'm trying to support him because I don't have any health. And unfortunately, I can only shoot his turret, and my premium rounds just aren't enough to actually make it through the turret of a tier 10 heavy tank. But it looks like the STA-1's got this all under control, and together we take out the tier 10 enemy Russian heavy tank, the Object 277. Now with the Object 277 dead, our team is actually in the lead, and I can say that I've had a fairly important role in how well this game is going for our team right now, with my 2400 damage and 1000 spotting. Unfortunately, the MEL2 gets killed by the WZ-132A, and now it's back to odds square, except that the enemy team has more higher tier tanks than we do, and now that they've taken out the Waffenträger aus Panzervier, we have now got less tanks than the enemy team, and I'm the only tier 9 on my team versus an RU-251 and a tier 10 artillery piece, and I'm on 250 health, which is not very good. So I decided, okay, I can't fight these guys in a frontal engagement, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take out their artillery to even the odds a little bit more. Because when the enemy team has artillery, they can hit us much easier, and we have to keep moving around, and once we're spotted, it's just that much more dangerous. So I decided, okay, I'm going to flank around below the cap, and I will see if I can get myself any artillery kills. So I'm heading down this way. Unfortunately, the team has decided to split up a little bit, with the AMX 5100 rushing ahead, and the STA-1 staying back towards our spawn point, and the TS-5 and the RU-251 are kind of rushing down the hill. The RU-251 turns around once he sees the STA-1 is there, and the STA-1, with another important kill, takes out the TS-5. Now I'm almost into where I expect maybe the enemy artillery is, because I haven't actually been damaged by them yet. I've only been stunned, but I figured maybe they're down in the K line in the 9 or 0 area. So I'm going to go flush them out of that position first, and then see where else they might be. But now the team's in a 3-on-3, and with an RU-251 being the only actual tank left on their team, this game looks like it could go pretty well for us. And then I'm about to flush any potential artillery out of there, and then the RU-251 takes out our 5100, which is really not good for the team. So now we are down to 2 versus 3. Admittedly, they have 2 artillery, and we have 2 actual tanks. So right now, the most important thing for me in this STA-1 to do is to take out the enemy RU-251. He's the only real tank left on the enemy team, and there he is, he's spotted. The STA-1 puts a shot into him. Fortunately, the RU-251 then manages to put a shot in return. I put a big shot into the RU-251 with my high explosive with 445 damage. Unfortunately, the M40, M43 takes out my friendly STA-1 just before I take out the RU-251. So now, for a brief moment there, I was 1v3 against the 3 enemy tanks left alive, and now on 250 health, I'm expected to take out 2 artillery, one of them being an auto-loading tier 10. So right now, for the most important thing for me is to not be where I was last spotted. I was last spotted in the south, so I faked it like I was heading west, and now I turned and went north. Now, I'm hoping that I can catch the artillery by surprise, as obviously they're in this dip here. Unfortunately, they almost catch me out, and there's both of them right there. Now, I am panicking, and I just decide to run away as fast as I can, which is kind of hard considering that I'm not exactly the fastest light tank, and there's 2 artillery, one of which has an autoloader and fires 1 shot every 8 seconds or so. And I get stunned by the M40, M43, and I'm just trying to run. I managed to not destroy too much and slow myself down, but I take a couple hits. Now I'm down to 200 health, and I'm stunned for a while. So I decide, okay, I'm going to pretend I'm heading west, and as soon as they're unspotted, I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to head up to the top of the hill. This way I can change the angle of the engagement as many times as possible, as I have the speed and I have the time to do it. Right now, it's just the most important thing is to not get spotted. And for this, I'm going to use my knowledge of the map and bush mechanics and knowing how little spotting range that enemy artillery has to keep me outside of their spotting range, but to keep them inside of my spotting range. So I'm going to head up all the way on the very, very edge of the map, right into these clump of bushes up here, which you can actually hide in, which is pretty funny. But there's a little bush about a third of the way down this side of the map that I'm going to use as to see if I can spot the enemy artillery from there. And now, because they're not going to be expecting me to be up there, I will have easy shots at them, and they won't be able to spot me because I'm outside of their spotting range and I'm using a bush. So I spot the Batchat15558. He's running away. He realizes he's been spotted. And then I push forward a little bit, and there we go. There's the M40, M43. He was looking to where I was expecting me to last come from, towards the right side of the rock for them. I'm hoping, can I get this guy? Can I get him? Can I get him? And no, that shot goes into the hill. So I decide, okay, I'm not going to push down the hill. M40, M43 knows exactly where I was. So instead, I'm going to go around and create another angle of engagement. This time, I'm going to go back to where I engaged them the first time, because I don't believe I have time to run all the way around to the south and create an angle of engagement from there. Now, unfortunately, this does mean that they have time to group up, but that's okay because I can now make it so they won't be able to shoot me, and if I get in close enough, and I can just run rings around the enemy artillery easier. So right now I'm heading back to the point where I first engaged in that big nice rock that provides plenty of cover for me from them, and I can just sneak around and shoot them. So right now I'm going to push in, and I'm going to see who I can spot. So there we go. I spot the Batchat15558, try to snapshot into him, it doesn't hit. So I fake that I'm going to go around the other side of the rock and then pull a hard brake, and I turn. And he's pushing around the corner, Luckily I have auto-aimed on him, so I shoot him. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just run rings around the rock with him. Unfortunately, the M40, M43 was right there, so I take him out. And then I disengage because I don't want to risk running around anymore and getting surprised by him looking in a direction that I'm not expecting him to. So I try and snap a shot into him there. It doesn't hit. So I run away. Unfortunately, I knock down a tree, which lets him know where I'm coming from. But then once I know that I've been unspotted, I turn around and I head back up towards that rock where I last engaged him, but making sure to stay well out of where he can spot me, so I can keep the engagement at a distance and he won't be able to know where I am at all times. So I spot him right there, and he's heading south, so I'm like, okay, I'll just turn around and I'll shoot him as he runs away because he hasn't spotted me. So I just kind of crest this little ridge right here and try and spot him, and there he is. And I take the time to aim this shot perfectly because I don't want to miss it. And there we go, I take him out for my 6th kill of the game and 4,100 damage and a victory against all odds. As you can see from that game, I did 4,404 damage. That means the blind shot on the Conway must have hit, which gives me my 6 kills. I spotted 5 enemy vehicles and did 1,700 assistance damage. That game was also an Ace Tanker, gave me Spotter Medal, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, a Pascucci's Medal for destroying 2 enemy SPGs, and a Top Gun for my 6 kills. As you can see, I was top on the team by experience earned as well as damage done and kills. But that STA-2, for being a bottom tier tank, had a pretty good game with almost 2,000 damage done in a tier 10 game. I unfortunately, lost a load of credits because I fired 7 or 8 premium rounds. I was using a premium consumable, and almost died, so I had to pay basically the full repair cost of my vehicle, so I lost 18,000 credits. I would have lost 40k without a premium account. So I fired 32 shots in that game, almost every single shot I carried. I hit 19 of those, and 15 of those were penned for the 4,400 damage, 1,600 of which was from a distance of more than 300 meters. I received 4 hits, 4 penetrations, and 3 were splash damage from the enemy artillery. Spotted 5 enemy vehicles, damaged 7, destroyed 6. I did almost 1,700 assistance, and I traveled over 8.5 kilometers in this 13-minute, 38-second game, and I received a total of 2,051 base experience, plus 102 free XP on top of that. Anyways, folks, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you next Saturday.